It's February, and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, oral histories, conscious kids, resources for authors, and the high-stake pitch night. Welcome to the February edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Well, the numbers are in, and the annual report is almost done, so let's kick off the show with some highlights. Last year, in spite of COVID closures and disruptions in services, you made almost 1 million visits to libraries all over the parish, and you checked out over 2.3 million items. And as you all embraced the digital library during the stay-at-home period, over 1 million of those checkouts were ebooks and audiobook downloads. Reference assistance trended towards questions about how to access and navigate online platforms, of course. And computer use and Wi-Fi remained steady. Hundreds of library programs shifted to virtual, allowing folks to watch as an event went live or later at their convenience. What a year! Taking virtual programs into 2021, the library's partnering with the Greater Baton Rouge Business Report to bring national authors to Baton Rouge, virtually, of course. We heard from Steve Forbes in January, and our February speaker is best-selling author John C. Maxwell. He'll be presenting to us live on February 10th. Register online for this free program at businessforumusa.com/Baton Rouge. Author Milton Davis will be sharing his latest work, From Black Panther, Tales of Wakanda, as well as Amber and the Enchanted Sword. You'll also find virtual programs, the Data Academy, career workshops, and more in this month's copy of The Source. We'll also host a special panel discussion of Zoom on February 20th to share Black Baton Rouge, Yesterday and Today, looking back to effectively move forward. During this presentation, moderated by Reverend Raymond Jetson, Dr. Lori Martin and Dr. Chris Tyson will take a look at the rich history of the Louisiana Capitol from the perspective of its Black community members. Register for this insightful discussion at the online calendar at ebrpl.com.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
You know, authors are some of our favorite people. Where would we be without them? And as part of our mission to support lifelong learning and creativity, we want to encourage local writers. So whether you're working on your family history or drafting the next great American novel, we've invested in some powerful tools to make your writing journey easier and your results more professional. It's time to find out now in the digital download.
They say everyone has a book in them. Did you know you can self-publish an ebook through the library? We have 3 tools that work together to help you do that. First of all, we have Pressbooks, a tool that helps you format your book and even add a book cover. Once you have your book ready, you can submit it to us through the Indie Author Project. Once approved, it will appear in our Louisiana Writers Collection in BiblioBoard. The best titles are even shared nationwide in other library BiblioBoard collections. By submitting your book, you can get exposure and share your hard work. You lose no rights to the book. To check out all 3 of these resources, head over to the digital library page at ebrpl.com.
Thanks, Andrew. To complement these great tools, we've got a great collection of writer's guides in the print and digital collections. Everything from style guides to specialized info for particular writing genres or time periods. Plus, the library hosts programs and meetings for local writers throughout the year, even in COVID time. Drop in on the Writers' Rendezvous at Fairwood or the Fiction Writers' Workshop at Bluebonnet and get ready for National Novel Writers Month later in the year. Read all about it in the source or visit the online calendar at ebrpl.com. Let's shift gears and check in with Kayla Perkins reporting in from Beyond the Stacks.
Your library is more than just books. We also partner with community groups and organizations to bring you quality programs and events. We're at the River Center branch in downtown Baton Rouge for the Brew 10 High Stakes Pitch Competition. Let's check it out.
Good evening. Welcome to the High Stakes Pitch Night.
My name is Wendy Overton. I'm Director of Strategy and Development for Nexus Louisiana. We are here tonight at the River Center Branch Library in downtown Baton Rouge to celebrate Baton Rouge Entrepreneurship Week. Our high stakes pitch competition will be held tonight. So tonight we will have 3 entrepreneurs who will pitch for 10 minutes in front of a panel of judges who are all investors. And these judges will then have a 10-minute Q&A to ask them more questions about their business model, after which the judges will decide which one of them will receive the $50,000 investment prize. Typically, Baton Rouge Entrepreneurship Week is in person because one of the most important aspects about Brew is that it allows people to connect with other people. Entrepreneurship is something that requires help. You need people like you. You need to meet investors and potential clients and peers and get advice from professionals. And Brew has always been centered around connecting people. Obviously this year that was not possible, so most of our event this year was held virtual, but we used an event platform that did allow for connections and other types of virtual networking. We are having this event live because we wanted to be sure to give these companies the ability to be highlighted tonight and have the energy of being in a room. It's very restricted access. We have very low numbers here tonight to keep it safe, but it is being live streamed so everyone can watch. The people that would typically come and watch the pitch event, they'll be able to still enjoy it. The library is a wonderful resource for entrepreneurs, and they have some of the most fantastic data resources that entrepreneur could want to have access to. And we love the idea of highlighting those resources that the library has, but also highlighting this beautiful new facility that's located in downtown Baton Rouge, right here on North Boulevard. It's a beautiful facility, and it's a shame that more people haven't been able to use it since of the quarantine shutdown, but we're excited to be here tonight.
What an amazing event. We're so happy to have had Brew 10 here with us at the library. To find out what's coming up next, pick up a copy of our monthly newsletter, The Source, or visit us online at www.ebrpl.com.
Thanks, Kayla. We were thrilled to partner with Brew for High Stakes Pitch Night this year, and we look forward to many more collaborations. It's a natural extension of everything we promote with the Library Small Business Service. So if you've got that entrepreneurial spirit, be sure to check out the terrific resources in the digital library just for you, or contact our business librarians at smallbusiness@ebrpl.com. Stay right there. After the break, Tara Deering joins me for a chat, right here on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that a thriving business community is good for us all. That's why we help entrepreneurs start businesses with tools like Gale Business Builder. Keep commerce rolling by providing access to computers, printers, and free Wi-Fi at 14 branch locations. Get a library card. Grow your business at ebrpl.com/business.
You're watching the February edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Now, it's no secret that the library's mission and strategic plan lead us to focus heavily on early literacy, helping those kids get ready for school, and building a habit of reading in the home. But we also spend a lot of energy making sure that our book collections are rich and diverse so that our children can experience and celebrate the many cultures and traditions of the world. We've partnered with local and national organizations to bring a curated collection of fabulous children's books to kids all over the parish. Children's Services Coordinator Tara Deering joins me now to explain. Okay, Tara, tell me about Conscious Kids.
So the Conscious Kids program is actually sponsored. The host organization is a nonprofit out of California called The Conscious Kid, and they have partnered with Line for Line. It's a local nonprofit here in Baton Rouge. Isn't it awesome? And also with Knock Knock Museum.
Oh, yes.
And of course the library, as well as the school system here in East Baton Rouge Parish. And their purpose is to get diverse books into the hands of kids. And
so that kids can see themselves.
So they can see themselves depicted in books, different races, different cultures, and it's a wonderful program. Their purpose is not just to celebrate diversity, but also they want to spark those conversations about race and racism and resistance, and so that the kids can kind of understand the whole concept better and
if everybody knows where they're coming from, and then you
Right.
can share that, then we walk forward together.
That's right.
So you've mentioned the partners, but tell me about the books.
Okay, the books. So this is one of the books, is I Am Every Good Thing.
Oh, by the fabulous Derek Barnes and Gordon James.
Gordon James, yes. And they will be coming soon for a program here at the library.
That's very special.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
And but this is a brand new book in 2020, and this is one of our 40 books that were are part of the program.
Let me interrupt you. Each school's getting 40 books.
Each of our East Baton Rouge Parish School, the public schools, and the charter schools are getting all 40 titles donated to them from the Conscious Kid Project.
Oh, that's just marvelous.
Yes. This book is about positivity in Black boyhood. It is a celebration. It is vibrant and buoyancy. It has lots of buoyancy, and it just begs to be read aloud. It's a fabulous read. Some of our other books we have.
This is beautiful.
Your Name is a Song. This one depicts a black Muslim mother and child, and she's afraid to go to school because they can't pronounce her name. And it's a wonderful celebration of names across multiple cultures. It gives the phonetic spellings. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. Then we have The Proudest Blue. The Proudest Blue is my first hijab story, and so it talks about why she chose blue and how it resonates throughout the story, and just it symbolizes just this power and this strength in her sister as she talks about the story.
So we get to meet her and see her culture. Where is she coming from? Because most of us have no idea.
It actually doesn't say in the book. It just talks about her receiving
her tradition.
Her tradition.
Yeah,
it comes from her tradition and her culture.
Right.
So, but it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And then the last one I brought for you today, Jacqueline Woodson.
She's a phenomenal national award-winning author.
Absolutely. And The Day You Begin is a wonderful story about a young girl who's afraid to speak up and introduce herself in class. And once she begins, the day she begins, she realizes that she's not the only one that has a story to share. And so it's a celebration. It's a wonderful celebration of just coming together and knowing that you're not alone.
You can find copies of each of the titles in this curated collection at each and every one of your local libraries, plus online in the digital library. Check it out. After the break, author Merlonda Webb, plus book reviews from one of our younger library patrons. All that and more coming up next on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library System believes that staying informed is good for us all. That's why we provide free access to the New York Times online, permit free access to niche magazines and articles through Press Reader. Get a library card. Get informed at ebrpl.com/newspapers.
Welcome back to the February edition of the Library Roadshow. Merlonda Webb is a children's author. She pens her work under the name Merlonda Janelle. Merlonda will join us here at the main library on February 15th for a book signing and meet and greet, and she joins me now by phone. Merlonda, introduce yourself and tell us how you got started as an author.
My author name is Merlonda Janelle, and my time spent to become an author started when I was in middle school and I developed a love of reading. It was one summer that my mom challenged me to read about 12 or 13 books, and the end of the summer was coming and I had not read any of the books. So at that point, I developed a love of reading, and at any chance that I would get, I would read everything that I could get my hands on. I can remember days going to the library looking up books by Beverly Cleary, Judy Blume, and all those books were so detailed and animated, and it just took me to a place that it didn't matter where I was, I could get away. So I loved reading. Now, for my author journey, I've always felt, because I have 4 nephews, that there were a lot of representation of animals, sports heroes, or there were action figures, but or superstars, but there were never any males just learning. And male reading was so uncommon to where my thought was, let me give my nephews something that they can read, that they can recognize, and that they can relate to. Because if you can relate to anything, I feel like it piques your interest just a little bit more. So for me, I wanted them to see not only something that represents themselves, but I also wanted their names to be seen. Because with a name like Merlonda Janelle, you just don't really see that name in a book. So that was very important to me.
What's this book about?
So my first book is entitled I'm Best as Me, and I'm actually going to turn it into a series, and it's a series entitled Playing with Angels. I call my nephews my angels. And in the series, I want to teach them life lessons through sports. So the first book, it details the story of Eddie, and he learns that it's best to just be himself instead of copying others. So he learns this through the game of soccer.
What inspired you to write this book?
Again, my nephews. I want them to be better than I am. I want them to know more than I know. And I want them to be stronger and empowered to do more than what I have done. And I feel like if they can get these life lessons at a young age, they can grow strong in knowing them. So learning to just be themselves in a world where everything is so copied, or everyone wants to be like someone else, or as they say, everybody wants to be like Mike, they can learn that being themselves is just way more important than copying off of someone else.
What do you hope young readers will take away from the book?
I hope that they take away that you can do anything that you put your mind to. You can be anybody that you set out to be, and that we all go through things. We all learn. We all are around other people that will possibly teach you something, and you learn it from them, and it makes you a better person. It makes you a stronger person, or it just gives you a different perspective. And I hope that they just learn that reading is fun. And I hope that they learn that if I can do it, someone who's born and raised in Baton Rouge, you can do it as well. So I hope that reading this book makes them empowered.
How can our viewers learn more about you?
I am available on my website. It is www.wordsinweb, and that's all spelled out, WORDSINWEBB.com. I am on Instagram _WordsInWeb, or I am on Facebook at Words in Web. So either way, you can reach me on any of those 3 platforms. And thanks again for your time and your attention.
Thanks, Merlonda. We'll be seeing you soon. It's now time to check in with one of our younger patrons to find out what they're reading at the library.
My name is Locke, and I am 7 years old. My favorite book is Dog Man. It's about a dog battling a cat named Petey. Petey got washed away in a super tidal way. It looked like this was the end. Hey, you saved me. You're not such a bad guy after all. I got one word to say to you. Click rats. Sometimes my mom brings me to the library, sometimes my dad brings me to the library. So you just flip the page and it looks like it's actually alive. It's actually like a real live cartoon. The thing that I like about the library, I made the Minecraft books.
Thanks, Locke. It's great to see even the youngest in our community making good use of the library system. And as for Captain Underpants, always one of the top picks of kids all over the system and the world. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library System believes that knowing where you come from is good for us all. That's why we grant free access to genealogy resources available through Ancestry.com, make the vast historic resources of Heritage Quest available to you online. Get a library card. Get your family tree at ebrpl.com/genealogy.
My name is Melissa Easton, and I'm head of the Special Collections Department of the East Baton Rouge Parish Library, located on the second floor of the main library at Goodwood, where Baton Rouge history comes alive. Oral history is distinguished from other forms of interviews by its content and extent. Oral history interviews seek an in-depth account of personal experience and reflections, with sufficient time allowed for narrators to give the story the fullness they desire.
This is September 17, 1979. This is Cammie Norwood conducting an interview with Miss Doris Carnes, recently retired from a 48-year nursing career.
The content of oral history interviews is grounded in reflections on the past as opposed to commentary on purely contemporary events. Here in the Baton Rouge Room Archives, we are fortunate to have several unique oral history collections. In the late 1970s and early 80s, the Junior League of Baton Rouge conducted 61 interviews with Baton Rouge citizens. Many of these tapes contain reminiscences of Baton Rouge in the early 20th century. The Junior League donated this collection to the Baton Rouge Room Archives, where they have been digitized and are available to check out. Interviewees include Baton Rouge luminaries such as legendary Tiger Band leader Castro Carrazzo, renowned architect A. Hayes Town, and Mary Fry Eaton, a well-loved doyen of Baton Rouge society. The Remembering the Struggle collection was sponsored by the Baton Rouge area YWCA as a way of capturing and preserving some of the experiences of women who participated in human rights struggles in our area during the 1950s through the 1980s. 26 women were interviewed and photographed for this project. The women in this collection fought to improve the quality of life in Baton Rouge by promoting education, equality, and justice. For example, Eva Lagarde was a community activist who fought to improve the quality of education. She was the first Black woman elected to the school board, serving from 1980 to 1994. Fran Busey's interview explores the work she did to improve and expand mental health facilities in our area, as well as her work promoting the Equal Rights Amendment. Very inspiring, to say the least. The most recent addition to our oral history collection is the Where Were You When collection. Here you can find interviews with Mrs. Willie Smith, one of the first women to graduate from the Southern University Business School. Mrs. Smith worked in the East Baton Rouge Parish School System from 1953 to 1980. Her fascinating interview describes what life was like living in segregated Baton Rouge and fighting for equality and education and beyond. Another delightful interview in this collection is with Larry Freeman, founder of the Mystic Crew of Apollo, Baton Rouge's first gay men's Mardi Gras crew. Because of COVID, we are not actively collecting oral histories at this time. However, if you would like to hear a selection of our oral histories, I encourage you to visit the oral history section of our info guide at www.ebrpl.com to explore our oral history collection, as well as to learn how to conduct your own oral histories.
You're watching the February edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Who knew there was so much to see and hear related to Baton Rouge's past? These oral histories are just the tip of the iceberg. It all starts at the main library on Goodwood, and it's all free with your East Baton Rouge Parish Library card.
Because of shows like the Queen's Gambit, chess has become pretty popular. That's why we're here at the Greenville Springs Road Regional Branch Library to check out their monthly chess club.
Hi, my name is Julia Rittner. I am the teen tech at the Greenville Springs Library here, and today we are hosting our chess club in the outdoor version. We've been running the chess club for several years now. It started out for the first couple of years as an indoor program just like any other. It's moved outdoors since we've come back from lockdown. There were several months, of course, when no one held any programs, but we have since started holding outdoor programs, and the chess club has been one of our most well-attended clubs.
Hi, my name is Molly. I love chess because I love all the new people I get to meet at chess club. My club is more casual, so we just have some boards out with some pieces, and we basically allow anyone to come, anyone who's interested in playing, or if they don't know how to play, we can teach them. Learning chess takes a bit of time. So if you decide to start playing chess or learning how to play at a chess club, it would take you around maybe 2 to 3 meetings, but then you also should be practicing and playing other games at chess club so that you can be able to be familiar with the pieces and the way they move.
If you want to learn more about what teen programming we have available, you can go to the East Baton Rouge Parish Library website. There is a calendar of all programs there. If you call in, we can give you a lineup of what we've got coming up. We're doing a lot of grab-and-go programs, which are little kits that you can pick up and take home with you and do it at your leisure, and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Chess is an ancient game, and it's not going away anytime soon. If you want to learn how to play, come to the Greenville Springs Road Regional Library and join the chess club.
Thanks, Jessica. We've got several programs scheduled outside in February in addition to the Outdoor Chess Club. Some of our walking clubs are resuming, and garden stories are now offered in the community park next door to the Baker Branch Library, as well as right here in Independence Park surrounding the main library at Goodwood. And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/ebrpl. Since we're celebrating garden gnomes, fairies, and critters in the garden this month, how about sharing a picture of your own little critter enjoying our wonderful spring weather? That's facebook.com/ebrpl, and while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow in March? Well, I'll be focusing on One Book, One Community, featuring The Yellow House by Sarah M. Broom.
Tune in next month and I'll take you to another awesome program at a library near you.
Tune in next month and we'll share another free resource available in the digital library.
Next month, we'll go behind the scenes of Bookface Friday.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.
And that's how I roll.